Welcome to the reading of the final part of the story, The Gentleman of the Jungle by Jomo Kenyatta. In the last part, we saw that the man left at the butt and the commission took a break for lunch. After enjoying a delicious meal at the expense of the retired Honorable Mr. Elephant, they reached their verdict. Verdict is the judgment or the faisala. Called the man and declared as follows. In our opinion, this dispute has arisen through a regrettable misunderstanding due to the backwardness of your ideas. We consider that Mr. Elephant has fulfilled his sacred duty of protecting your interests, as it is clearly for your good that the space should be put to most economic use, and as you yourself have not reached the stage of expansion which would enable you to fill it, we consider it necessary to fill a compromise to suit both the parties. Mr. Elephants shall continue this occupation of your hut, but we give you permission. I read it again. We give you permission to look for a site where you can build another hut more suited to your needs, and we will see that you are well protected. So, this is the polished plan, the scheming loot. The fault is in the gaps of the innocence of the kind man of the jungle, who helped with his good heart to let the elephant in. The naive man is now caught in a trap. The man, having no alternative and fearing that his refusal might expose him to the teeth and claws of members of the commission, did as they suggested. Rightly so. He knew that he was caught, he was trapped, and he could not do anything. So he agreed. But no sooner had he built another hut than Mr. Rhinoceros charged in with his horn lowered and ordered the man to quit. A royal commission was again appointed to look into the matter, and the same finding was given. Mr. Hyena and the rest were all accommodated with new huts. Then the man decided that he must adopt an effective method of protection, since commissions of inquiry did not seem to be of any use to him. He sat down and said, Naganda ti nadaganda bodgedi, which means there is nothing that treads on the earth that cannot be trapped, or in other words, you can fool people for a time, but not forever. The man thought that he has to change his ways. He has to look and tap for his own intelligence and courage and brawn to fight this case, because every time he built a new hut, first the rhinoceros occupied it, the second one Mr. Buffalo came in, then Mr. Hyena. So step by step they were all looting his land. And the commissions, the inquiry commissions, were all on the side of these scheming, cunning gentlemen. So the man decided, because he knew that there is nothing on this earth that walks that cannot be trapped. So the man is now going to think of a new plan to safeguard his own interest, to save his republic, to save his civilization. Early one morning, when the huts already occupied by the jungle lords were all beginning to decay, means destroyed, and fall to pieces, he went out and built a bigger and better and a little distanced hut. No sooner had Mr. Rhinoceros seen it than he came rushing in, only to find that Mr. Elephant was already inside, sound asleep. Mr. Leopard next came to the window. Mr. Lion, Mr. Fox, and Mr. Buffalo entered the doors, while Mr. Hyena howled for a place in the shade, and Mr. Alligator basked on the roof. Presently, they all began disputing about their rights of penetration, and from disputing, they came to fighting. And while they were all embroiled together, the man set hut on fire and burnt it to the ground, jungle lords and all. Then he went home, saying, "Peace is costly, but it's worth the expense," and lived happily ever after. Very interesting paragraph. The man decided that he is going to divide and fall, and he knew that the brain is better than the brawn. So, what he did, he built a bigger and a better hut at a far distance. When all these animals, I must say the gentlemen of the jungle, saw that big and better hut, one by one they entered in. Rhinoceros, elephant, lion, fox, hyena, buffalo, alligator, all were now inside the big building, and they started arguing and fighting for their own space. And while they were fighting, while they were quarreling, this man slowly and secretly went outside and put the big building to flames. The building was destroyed, devastated, along with these jungle lords. And while going home, he said, "Of course, peace is costly, but you have to pay a big price for peace, but it's worth it." Naturally, if we are not ready to use force against barbarism, against cunningness, to protect the civilization, we have to continue accepting barbarism. So, the message of this fable is sometimes force has to be used to maintain peace. Thank you.